I want my HTV. I want it now, and I want it live. Yay! Yud Hey Vav Hey, I lift this broadcast up to you and everyone in my chat room and everyone who will watch this on the archives. I pray for you to bless them and answer their personal requests that my friends make onto you. And Heavenly Abba, I ask that you speak through me and that you help me talk about these topics. And Heavenly Abba, thank you for not making me feel embarrassed and ashamed of what happened to me in the DUMS or the fact that they used me as a Manchurian candidate, a super soldier. Thank you for not making me feel embarrassed and ashamed that I am an SRA survivor, that I'm DID. Thank you, Heavenly Abba, for utilizing me. And thank you for this opportunity for me to be able to share with everyone my recovery process. And thank you for everything you do for me. I love you. I'm grateful to you. I appreciate you. I worship you. You are my everything. Yeshua HaMashiach is my golden bow, for I am his white hot silver arrow. And there's my covenant ring. And Heavenly Abba, please help me make some corrections too. I understand that the New Jerusalem is the bride and Yeshua HaMashiach is the groom. So in the Bible, and when ministries and churches talk about the bridegroom feast, the bride is the New Jerusalem and Yeshua HaMashiach is the groom, and he will live among us in the New Jerusalem. But we, me and my friends that are saved to Yeshua, we make up the body of Christ. So thank you for giving me more understanding and knowledge and insight. And I love you, I love you, I love you. Because Yeshua HaMashiach is my golden bow and I'm his white hot silver arrow. And together we make a perfect team. In Yeshua's name, Selah. Okay, hey, Joshua, Lily Duke, Amos, MP, it's great to see you. Galen, She's Love 58 Win. It's great to see you guys. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I have the, I don't mean to be rude. I want to explain a couple of things first before I get started. Okay, I got to make my screens right. Oh, wait, I got to switch my account. If I switch my account, then I'm going to lose it. All right, I guess I'll just have to say Holly Baglio in my own chat room. Okay, so guys, I don't use medicinal marijuana anymore. I do qualify for my license, and really, to be honest, at times, I wish I still used it. But as you know, I've been fully disabled since the year 2004 when I contracted Lyme's disease due to a recluse spider biting me. And I have rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, Baker's cysts behind each knee. I have Baker's cysts in my spine, and I have sciatica from my lower back all the way down both legs and into my heels. And I have irritable bowel syndrome, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, panic. When I first became disabled from Lyme's disease, I was too young to qualify for my benefits for my physical disabilities, even though I was partially bedridden for 2 years. 2 years? Yeah, for 2 years, I was partially bedridden, but I took physical therapy for 3 years to learn basically to walk again. And my hands are straight. They're not deformed and crooked. My fingers are straight. You can tell that I have rheumatoid arthritis, but my fingers work just fine. So that's not from physical therapy. That's actually because when my fingers started crinkling up, what I did was I held them out as flat and as straight as I could get them on a wooden toy box, as a matter of fact. And I took the biggest book I had and I slammed it down on my hand and my crinkled fingers went straight. So the doctors yelled at me for that, but I said, hey, at least my hands are straight, which is more than you guys have ever done for me. Can I have my prescriptions now? Let me go. But anyway, I was too young because I'm 45. So when I first became disabled, I was in my early 30s. And I was too young to qualify for disability on my physical ailments. So I told the state, sure, you know what? If you want to give me disability because you want to say I'm bipolar, that's fine. Just give me my disability because I can't go back to work. And hey, Billy, it's great to see you. Bonnie, I'm glad to see you here. Welcome, welcome, sweetie. I'm glad to see all of you. So anyway, they had me on 33 prescriptions. I had gotten down to 12, and then I used medicinal marijuana to get me off those prescriptions, and I had stayed using medicinal marijuana for a while. And I began quitting that in 2018. And I still used it on and off. But now this is my first winter that I will be going through where I won't be on prescription medications. I won't be using medicinal marijuana. I'm very pleased and happy about that. And it's because Yud-Hey Vav-Hey's living Logos is still living. His word still cures and heals. And I have all faith in him. So with his living word, I was able to come off prescriptions. But this winter, I'll be using Kratom for my pain problems. And it definitely gives me an energy boost, which I need because I struggle with my energy all the time, you know. So I'm sure you guys noticed at the beginning of this, I had written something about Kratom, but I wanted to explain why I'm using it. I still need, medical help for my pain, but I don't want to take pain management pills. Hi, it's never too late. It's never too late. Shalom. MP, all of our problems are the same, and we all suffer the same. But, okay, so I took notes, and I wanted to talk about some things. Last night I had watched a video I had done 3 years ago on Now You See TV, and in the video, in the interview, I had used names of other children that I remember from the DUMS, and I wanted to apologize to Michael, Kieran, Aaron. They were not my handlers, and I now recognize that they were not my handlers. I do recognize that they were also survivors from the DUMS, and I want to make sure that I apologize for ever using their names and for ever bringing harm to them. So I'm really sorry, Michael. I'm really sorry, Aaron. I'm really sorry, Kieran. But thank you for all that you've done for me. And thank you to a couple of you who I would say are my current day friends. I appreciate that deeply, because being able to reach out to you gentlemen really helped me in my recovery, as well as David. I apologize to him. There's another Erin out there. I'd like to apologize to her for using names. But all of you are very special to me, and I cherish our friendships, and I cherish all of you very, very much, and I care for all of you very much. So as if I'm speaking to these people right now, I hope that you can forgive me. Thank you for being a part of my recovery process and for helping me. Yeah, Amos, I can't wait for my book to get copyrighted, and I can put that up on hollybaglio.com so you guys can read it. Yeah, they know exactly where I'm at and where I've been, and I don't mean to laugh and get giggly, but they're also what I would consider fellow survivors. So What else did I want to say? Okay, so I talked about that. I'll talk about that. I know to hide your name. Okay. I have pictures to show you. Hey, Doc Michael, it's great to see you. And on one of the pictures I drew, I need to hide my altar's name because my altar does not want you to know her name. And I do not like people calling me by my altar's names. I joke around about it, and once in a while I'll let one of my friends joke around with me about it, but it is a sensitive topic. So I'm sorry, forgive me. Okay, forgive me. Sam says hi. Samantha. Anyway, Sam, really. But that's an altar, so just forgive me. I'm still reintegrating. Hey, Anna, it's nice to meet you and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me talk to you about my recovery process. I am 2 sessions in. I've said it in the past, but I'm not going to say it going forward. I would like to not use names going forward, but I've met with this pastor 4 times, and we always record the sessions. That way I can refer back to them. Auspicious Condor. Interesting tag you have. Greetings. So, yes, Bonnie, I got the giggles, but also I'm just really happy. And I miss my sense of humor. And I have a really big sense of humor. And sometimes it's really off color and off key, but my sense of humor was crushed under the strong arm of the ex. I will not say my ex because there's nothing about him that was ever mine or that I would want to be mine. So I call him the ex. The ex, you know, killed and crushed everything that was fun and good about me. And he hindered my recovery process. He never did any research and studies, and he still to this day does not know about Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He says he does, but then again, wolves come in sheep's clothing. Hey, Uncle Obvious, greetings. Jesper, it's great to see you. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to let my chat be for now, and I'm going to focus on talking about my recovery, and then I'll come back to the chat room. So you guys have fun. Be safe. If there's a troll, please let me know. I will slam down a wrench pretty fast. Okay, I woke up from MK Ultra programming, and I woke up to realizing that I was a kid locked in the cages in the dumbs. I woke up to being a satanically ritualized and abused survivor. I realized that I was DID, identity disorder. And when I woke up from all of that, I started drawing pictures. And I would say the pastor that I'm working with, if my understanding is correct, the pastor I work with talks about the neshama. And I think that's the breath of God. You know, like for instance, Adam, when Abba created Adam in his image, neshama is the breath of God that was breathed into him that brought him forth at a specific time and a specific date. So when I had woken up from MK Ultra back in December 2014, I was homeless. I was renting someone's couch for like $600 a month, which was totally retarded and ridiculous. But it kept me it kept me, I'm sorry, my notifications go off, I get distracted. But it kept me and my dog and cat together. And when I had called out my biological mother and said, you know, the first dump I remember being in is when you took me out of my grandparents' care and flew me out to Texas, San Antonio, Texas. And that is the first time at 3 years old I remember being in a dump. All of a sudden, she's disowned me. Now, she likes to tell people that I'm estranged from the family, but that's not true. What is true is she disowned me. And she's on disability herself because of a car accident, but with the fentanyl and other medications that she's on, it's more like talking to a pill than it is a person. And she also says that Jesus is going to fry in a vat of boiling oil for lying to us about being our Savior. So she also told me that if I were ever to come to her house, I'm not allowed to talk to Jesus. So in return, I said to her, well, if I can't talk about Jesus in your house, that means the Holy Spirit is not filling your house. Jesus is not there, and that's definitely not a place for me to be. So I'm going to go with Jesus. You can stay in the darkness. Hey, Addie, I love you. I love you. What are you doing, sweetheart? Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to have to look up what you're typing, auspicious condor. I hope that it's nothing bad. And I don't have, I'm not going to interrupt my video to look up what you're writing to translate it. I'll do it later. And again, I hope it's not something that I would throw a wrench at. Just saying. So anyway, for 2014, I woke up and a lot of things were happening. But to keep it simple, I started writing Egyptian. And there were times that I could understand Egyptian. Hey, Anna Kilikova, it's great to see you, sweetie. Okay, so, and I when I first woke up, I was looking up Sumerian language. I even looked up Persian language. And, so when I first woke up, I started to write my name and my birthday. Now, I was wrong about the time I was born. I've always said it's 8:16 p.m. I'm incorrect. I was born at 8:18 p.m. I was 2 minutes off. So this is what I drew. It's an Egyptian. This is my birthday, September 12th, 1974. Doesn't that kind of look like the word love? Anyway, 9/12/74. This is my name in Egyptian. This is a galaxy that Heavenly Abba, Yud-He, Vav-He, behold the hand, behold the nail, showed me. And I used, when I was growing up, my biological mother kept me from my dad, so I went by the last name Gabery, but my name is Holly Nancy Baglio. That's what's on my birth certificate. Hey, River, it's great to see you. Then, of course, I was, like I said, writing in Egyptian. This is my name, Holly Baglio, in Egyptian. Holly worships and loves Jesus. In Egyptian. But I had lost my ability to speak for 9 months. I called the cops on myself December 20th. Oh my goodness. I think this is also in one of my videos on my website page, hollybaglio.com, and it's called Mind Melt. There's like 8 videos. If you scroll down, you'll see Mind Melt. And my website's still under construction, so I'm going to post all of these pictures, but as well as the dreams and visions that Abba has given to me, as well as allowed me to draw that coincide with the Bible. He showed me that the Bible is true, it's living, And he showed me that in my dreams and visions, and he allowed me to do some drawings. So I'll post up these 50 plus drawings I have on my website, but I haven't done that yet. So because I had lost my abilities to speak for 9 months, I drew my hands, and I dedicated my hands to God in Jesus' name, to Yud-Heh Vav-Heh in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. And then I traced my feet. Now, I couldn't speak. I had a tough time. I had, like, for me to sit here with you right now and be able to talk is a huge, like, miracle, because I fought that darkness long and hard. And just to keep alive, because I was instilled with suicide programming, and I was instilled with programming, not only suicide programming, but programming that wouldn't let me talk, so I wouldn't be able to give you my testimony like I am right now. Hey, Megan, sweetheart, how are you? It's good to see you. So I traced my feet, and basically I traced my hands, I traced my feet, and I dedicated them to God. So everything between my hands and feet, I dedicated to God in Jesus' name. And I wanted everybody to see that, since I had a tough time speaking it. In about around the year 2016, I had a vision of someone. At first, I thought it was a programmer. And then I thought maybe it was the pastor that I'm working with now. Or it could have been a recalled memory from the DUMS. But whatever that vision was, in the vision I was sitting before an older gentleman who I thought was a programmer. And in his hands he had, what do you call it, like a folder, kind of like a briefcase. Hey, Linda, sweetheart, it's great to see you. He kind of had like a briefcase or like a folder of papers, and I looked at it, and I saw the map of my mind. And I wanted to remember everything I saw on that. And what I mean by this is that when the programmers in the DUMS, such as Joseph Mangley, I remember 3 programmers, but I don't talk about 2 of them for my own safety and protection. I don't give their names. My Freedom Ministries and support system know who they are. Nora, it's great to see you, honey. It's been such a long time. I hope you're doing well. So, but I will talk about Joseph Mangley. But when these programmers fracture your mind and split your mind and honeycomb your mind, they'll call forth an altar, and they'll use certain lights, sounds, colors, letters, numbers, and words. And they'll get a hold of one of your altars, and they'll program your altar. And like you would program a computer, right? You know, if you've ever taken any computer programming courses to program a computer. And I used to take computer programming courses, and finally I got to a point I was like, oh, forget it. I don't want to know. But you put in codes, and you tell the computer what to do, and then you close it out, and then you end it. So like there's a whole bunch of codes, and there's a whole bunch of things that you put into a computer software that tells your hardware what to do. And then you end the program, and then voila, you've programmed your computer. Well, if you can imagine that, if I've even explained that halfway decent, which I probably flopped at, that's what these Nazi scientists and that's what these other programmers have done to my mind. So I want all of my recalled memories back from being in the DUMS and from what they have programmed me to be. One of the DUMS I remember being in, And I'll try to get to my chat room after. Sorry, forgive me. It's just I get distracted and I'm trying to remember what I want to say. See, I want all of my recalled memories of being an active super soldier. I want all of my recalled memories back from what happened to me and the other kids in those cages, in those dumbs. Now I remember Montauk. I do believe. Okay, I have been programmed to be an assassin, and I have been used as an assassin before. I have been programmed to be a spy. I've been programmed as a captain. I can fly aircrafts. I have been programmed with different languages such as Egyptian, German, Sumerian, and other languages. So, and what these Nazi scientists from Project Paperclip have done, they're masterminds. They're brilliant people. They're beyond brilliant. And they're also very cunning sorcerers. So they use these satanic rituals to summon these dark powers and principalities. But these programmers, they're not always a Nazi scientist, but pretty much to do what a programmer does, you're Satan's rotten mutton minion. You're serving him. You're serving the fifth fallen cherub, formerly known as Lucifer. You are full throttle serving him if you are a programmer. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But when you fracture someone's mind, when these programmers fracture a person's mind, they need to keep track of what altar knows what altar's been programmed with what altar knows what, and how to be able to call forward that altar and access that altar. I have an altar that is a witch. She can summon things. There's an altar in there that knows astral projection. Excuse me, that's a nervous giggle. I have male altars. I remember the ex used to make fun of my male altars, and he would say to me, Holly, I hope that your male altars don't come out while we're making love. And he would make a joke about it. Meanwhile, my male altars could have put him on his ass in half a heartbeat. Well, it just goes to show how ignorant, stupid, uneducated he is. To say that to me, because I have male altars, I like my male altars, to tell you the truth. Sam is one of them. But everybody knows about Sam. So anyway, this is all that I can remember right now. This is the map of my mind thus far. These blank spots are what I can't remember, that the current pastor I am working with is trying to help me remember. These are amnesia points where I've been programmed not to remember. Now, through the blood of the Lamb, this pastor that I'm working with is going to help me remember all of this. So far, I've only got that. Now, when I had that vision and I saw this, when I had the vision of the guy that had opened up this folder and I saw the mapping of my mind, I wanted to remember everything. So I went and I drew this. And so today, I gave this to my pastor in our second session. And we had a great discussion about it. Hey, with expectancy, it's great to see you. So, hey guys, I'm going to have to vape while I do this I hate to vape because it gives off the wrong impression, but also it's kind of disgusting when you're running a video and somebody's smoking in it. But please forgive me. So, the first session that I had during the week with my pastor, the Freedom Deliverance Ministry, it's him online, sometimes a fellow cage survivor, somebody that I believe I recall from the DUMS, is with us. So it's the pastor, sometimes the pastor's wife, sometimes the fellow survivor that I believe I recall from the DUMS, being locked up in the cages. And with me here physically is a woman from my support system, and she sits here with me. And sometimes she has to reach out and hold my hand and reassure me that I'm not in the darkness of those DUMS locked in a cage, but I'm here and I'm okay, because some of those altars are still frozen in time. They're frozen and locked in that moment when they were extremely tortured and shocked, and they're frozen in that moment. And when that altar that's frozen in that moment of extreme torture and trauma comes forward, that altar needs to be reassured that they're not still stuck in that moment. Stuck in that moment. Winging it. No fair. I want to go camping. I have no counseling with that. Go fishing. I love camping. So, excuse me, guys. I'm going to just step aside because I really don't want to smoke in front of you, and kind of am fidgety right now. I just need a moment. Okay. Excuse me. So, I'm back. Forgive me. Oh, drive to Scotland. Sounds beautiful. Thank you with expectancy. So, the first session was tough. Now, when I was in the DUMS, they took the Holy Bible and they corrupted it. If you turn your... Oh, it's right in front of me. If you turn... Let me find it first. If you turn to Daniel 12. Why do I always say 13? Okay, because there is no Daniel 13. Daniel 12. See, I was programmed on the Holy Bible. I was programmed. There was a program in the DUMS that they would take kids and put them into. It was called like Messiah training or Messiah programming. And what they would do is they would literally put the kids like they're being crucified, and they would whip the kids and beat the kids and say, Jesus expects you to take this. Jesus went through it, so you have to go through it. And they would basically beat into the child, you're Jesus, you're the Messiah, and he wants you to take this beating for him. It's brutal. So for me, I was in Project Ibis, and in Project Ibis, what I can remember, they told us kids that we were angels. We're not humans, we're angels stuck in a human body. So if you know anybody out there that's sitting there going, oh no, we're angels in a human body, okay, that's programming. So recognize it for what it is. Yes, Amos, I want nothing more than to quit smoking. I think it's an ugly stronghold. Now, I'm not going to lie to anybody, and I'm not going to hide my sins and my strongholds, but that does not mean that I have to subject you guys to it. So in the DUMS, and I'm going to try to leave names out, but on this occasion I can't. If you read Daniel 12, right, it says, at that time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then. But at that time, your people, everyone whose name is found written in the book, will be delivered. Now it says, at that time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will rise. Now, Christians know that to be the Archangel Michael, right? Well, in Project Ibis, I was with children, and we were forced and programmed to believe that we're actually angels. One of the boys that I was programmed along with, his first name is Michael. So he was our Archangel Michael. And then I was given a role as an angel. And I'm Holly. And if you take the name Holly and translate it into other languages, Holly translates to holy. See where I'm going with this? Okay. So I have to be really careful who I do Holy Bible studies with so I don't get triggered. But I do believe that I am reintegrating. So that's another thing, the word triggered. You know what I don't like, and I'm going to be very brutally honest. I don't like when normal people who are not SRA survivors, who are not DID, who are not ex-super soldiers, who are not cyborgs, who have never been in a dome or locked in a cage or traumatized and tortured. I don't like when normal, regular people sit there and go, oh, Holly, I was watching a video today and it triggered me. You don't have any alters. What are you talking about? A video triggered you. You don't have alters. No, use your words correctly. You were watching a video you didn't like, and it put you in an emotional roller coaster and in a bad place in your mind. You're not triggered. Triggered means that your alters come forward, and you don't have any alters. You're not triggered. You're just emotionally and mentally distraught right now. I had to learn how to teach myself to speak again and use my words correctly. I think you need to too, especially around someone like me. People, you know what, in general, people have got no idea of the evil that is about to come on this earth. I was talking about this with a couple people today, and I don't mean to come off the wrong way, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Regular people in the public, right? They read their Holy Bible and they're like, oh yeah, the seals are being opened. Oh yeah, the trumpets are sounding right now. Actually, no, they're not. The trumpets that you think you're hearing, they're coming from alien aircraft. Okay, that is technology. That is advanced alien technology. The trumpets have not sounded yet at all. You know, the trumpets in Revelation, they have not sounded. People, regular people in the world that aren't like me. They walk outside their front door to go food shopping, and they think they've seen evil. They could not be more wrong if they tried to be. The evil that is about to come on the face of this earth is going to be the same evil that I and the other children in those deep underground military bases had to experience, and it was brutal. Joseph Mengele was known as the angel of death. My nickname in the Dumbs was Death. He created me to be a monster and a very deadly weapon, purposefully. Joe the Mechanic, that's my nickname for him, and I'm going to use that nickname. Joe the Mechanic is a sorcerer of the most evil, wicked kind. He would kill me, and he would leave me dead for 4 minutes. And then he would bring me back to life. And then he would do it again. Bring me back to life and do it again. Bring me back and do it again. And when I was dead, I would stand there and I would be in complete and utter darkness. And it was hell to me. And then when he'd bring you back to life and resuscitate you, all the pain all throughout my body, oh, it would just hurt. Recently, I had a recalled memory of him waterboarding me and drowning me and killing me and leaving me dead. And I remember trying to reach and make them stop. And I couldn't, and I had no control. And they drowned me, and I died. And I sat in darkness until he brought me back. And when he'd bring me back to life, it was excruciatingly painful and scary. And I was a small little girl. So yeah, if I want to be called an ex-super soldier, I have earned my time and title. And you want to laugh at the terminology super soldier? Well, then you go right ahead. But I have done my time. Hey, Brooke, I love you. Hey, Luke Gurley, I love you. Hi, K Mister. Hey, Susan Saylor. I'll get back to my chat room at the end. Please forgive me. So, I don't want to show emotion in my videos, if you don't mind. I just need to catch my breath for a minute. So, there's some more I want to tell you guys. Wait. I didn't want you to see me exhale. Not here. Sorry. All right. Better now. Okay. So, there is something that works for me personally that may not work for everyone else, but I want to throw it out there as a suggestion and an idea. I'm not forcing anyone to try to believe me. I'm not forcing anyone to try to do what I do, but I just want to put it on the table for you guys. And, you know, everybody has different ways and different practices, but, you know, they're Holy Spirit filled and led. When my altars would come forward and show themselves and tell me what happened to them, usually that happens to me in my dreams at night. But now, currently, I'm getting used to being totally wide awake, sitting with the pastor, my support system, my angel in disguise, and sometimes a fellow survivor. And now I'm getting used to being awake and these altars coming forward right then and there. Brooke, I love you. You have a beautiful day. Oh, Brooke, I sent you an email. Check it out, please. The email, not the Skype, but the actual email, because someone was wanting your help. You'll see the email. I'll just leave it there due to privacy reasons, but I love you, Brooke. I love you. I love you. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting used to being wide awake and my altar's coming right forward, and it's quite a bit. But when they reintegrate, what seems to work better for me is when in my head I envision, or in the spirit, however you guys say it, I see the altar. And this altar that recently came forward, I can see her with torn, tattered clothing. She's little. And I see her come, and I see her go into my body. So I see me here in my head. I see me here. But then I see the altar come and literally join in, regroup, and we become one again. At this point, I then surrender myself and rededicate myself to Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Yud He Vav He, behold the hand, behold the nail, who came here to earth in human form to die for our sins, resurrect and ascend to heaven so that we can be reconciled unto him. I do not envision my altar going into the arms of Yeshua any longer, and I'm not saying that that's wrong. What I'm doing is just giving people another suggestion, because actually what seems to work for me is what I'm telling you now. So rather than seeing my altar go off and be with Jesus, I'm actually seeing my altar come and reintegrate and become one whole piece again. And so now she's not broken off in somewhere else. She's together with me and we're whole again. Hope I explained that right. Okay, so I had an altar come forward. By the way, guys, you know, should I get into that now? Or can we get into it later? We'll see how it goes. Thank you, Heavenly Abba. I was going to bring up clones and programming. Maybe I can do that at the end. I don't want to make this video be too long because I don't want to be too overwhelming. But I want to tell you how my recovery process is going, since I've already had 2 sessions. And boy, the first one was bumpy. I completely hit turbulence. And oh boy, Wednesday was one of those days. You probably did not want to talk to me. Or if you did talk to me, you would have been like, that's not Holly. Who am I talking to? Because that's not Holly. An altar, another broken piece of me had come forward. And I physically, when she came forward, I felt altered. I felt suddenly like I was on every drug in the entire universe. Things in front of me started to go woozy like. Am I explaining this correctly? So I'm sitting there clear as day, like I am with you guys right now, and all of a sudden the altar came forward, and I felt like I was in an altered state of mind. What I was looking at before me was altered. I felt different in my body. I felt like I was shorter. I even went out and played with my dog outside, throwing the ball around, and I just felt like a completely different person. An altar came forward and she shared some memories. And she drew pictures of what she remembers. And if you guys don't mind, I'd like to share them with you. Now, I am going to protect my altar's name. I want her to know she's safe with me. And the only place I will take her is straight to Yeshua HaMashiach. And I want her to feel safe. So I'm going to protect the name that she had. But she drew pictures of what happened to me. I was a little girl. This is me in the picture. Right here. I don't know where I was. I could have been made to believe that I was in Switzerland. We were told that these were the parents. The guy wore a dark suit with a tie. This woman, she had her hair kind of back like this. She kind of had like a knee-length skirt on, dark colors. She had like an apron on. This is a kid. They would throw us down the stairs. This is the basement we were in. These are the snakes and the worms and the creepy crawly things. In the basement, it wasn't like a Skinner box where there were tons of snakes and spiders all over you, but it was like in a basement, or excuse me, like a cellar. And you know how every once in a while, like snakes and creepy crawly things get in your cellar? It was like that. This is me. This is the plate of food. The parents would put it just right out of our reach. We'd have to like use our legs to try to pull the food over to us. These are chains. They had us chained up in the basement. When I first got there, did I say this? The parents would put drugs in the food. And we were starving. Our clothes were tattered, and sometimes our privates were hanging out because the clothes were torn and they were thin. And there was a redheaded girl next to me, I think a year or two older. She was trying to tell me, she was translating. She could understand what the man and woman, the parents, were saying, and she would tell me what certain words meant. It was in another language. They came and took her out. I was there by myself for a while. I don't know how long. It was so dark. I mean, the windows there were no windows, and if there were, they were all blacked out. So you couldn't see the difference between day and night. Another time there was a little girl and a little boy brought down, and they were chained up next to me. And I kept trying to comfort them and let them know that Jesus does love them and they're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. This sucks, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. then one time, the father, the old guy, came, took me out of the basement, and he brought me up into an office, and these are the bookshelves. There's bookshelves all over. This is his desk with a bunch of papers on it. This is the big chair that he sat in. Over here is the end table with the lamp and more books and tons of papers all over the place. And outside, I think it was winter. It was pretty outside. There were mountains off in the distance, and they had snow on top of them, and there were a few trees, and the sun was out. This is the door. This is me. He had fake documents that told me a different name and a different birthday. They got us there by an airplane. I remember taking an airplane ride with this guy. But they used a different name and a different name for me. It was by an airplane. So that altar, who drew those pictures, I just imagine, here's my body, here's me. And I just see her come and be one with me again. And I pray that Yud Hey Vav Hey, my heavenly Abba, holds us in his hand. So, Wednesday was a huge, huge day. I drove the SIIU team nuts. I drove my pastor nuts. It was quite an experience. And then today, as a matter of fact, I had my second session. And more things were explained to me, so I had a better understanding because, I mean, I was kind of along the right lines, but I fully really didn't understand what DID is. And hey, Peanut, it's great to see you. Not a metaphor. You're a trip. I'll get to my chat room in a little bit. Forgive me. So today was a good session where he explained things to me. He explained who the core Holly is and what the core Holly will look like. And what it is to be the core Holly. He explained the presenting or front altar and what that is a little bit more clearly to me. And I'm still grasping the concept and definition of DID, dissociative identity disorder. You know, we all know a definition, but to have a broader and deeper understanding of it, you know, it's kind of complicated. Okay, so we're coming up on an hour. I'm going to leave you guys with this thought before I hit my chat room and end in prayer. I was talking to the pastor today, and you guys probably aren't going to believe it, but let's talk about clones. Now, there were clones made of me, so when I was in a DUM or in the SSP, Secret Space Program, a clone was left in my spot, so nobody would notice that I was gone. And the clone would go to school. Nobody at school noticed that it was a clone and not really me. There were some times that one of the programmers would come to my house where I grew up in Far Hills, and he'd come to my house, and somehow I was triggered or whatnot. And I'd either go outside, or he'd come inside the house and take me. And he would take me out at night, and then he'd bring me home before morning, before anybody noticed I was gone. There was a monastery right down the road, and they would take us kids there. So the wealthy people, the men and women, would rape us children and drug us. Bad things happened at that monastery in Blair. I guess it's called Blairsden. Now it's privately owned. And anyway, staying on topic. So I was talking with my pastor, and it explained a lot to me. There's freedom deliverance ministries out there, and they do the work of God. These are godly people. From Thomas Dunn to Russ Tisdar to Doug Riggs. These are godly people. They are serving Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. And they are great at what they do. But there are clones that are made. I'm not going to say which one. One of those people has clones made of them. And the clone is not a godly person. The clone is satanic and evil and corrupt. And that clone does very bad things to people. And it is a clone of the pastor. The clone is satanic and evil, and it yells, and it's mean, and it programs, and it reinforces the programming. And I know you guys probably aren't going to believe me, but I need to tell you this because I need to warn you. You guys to know the difference between a real person and a clone. You need to have a solid foundation in Yeshua HaMashiach. You need to rely on the Holy Spirit to give you information and to work through you, in you, and around you. I may have met, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still going through these sessions, but I am suspect in thinking I may have met his clone. And I'm going to remind you that there's a campaign out there that Luciferians and Satanists and Freemasons, yes, Freemasons, they have going against these freedom deliverance ministries to try to discredit them and throw them in jail, as well as to flip the script around on victims and say the victims are mentally insane. Don't listen to them. There's nothing such as Satanism. So that way, if they can sweep it under the carpet, then they can continue on harming people. Is there anything else, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, that you think I should say in this video in Yeshua's name? Besides pray for my chat room. Okay, look at my chat room. How can we truly tell the differences with expectancy? I think there's some subtle signs, but I am not sure. Auspicious condor, you think you know what the crown on my prayer shawl says? Because until I make sure I got it right. What does it say? What does it say? What does it say? Can I wear it? I think I look pretty fancy in this prayer shawl. I kind of just want to wear it when I'm in my secret place with Yeshua HaMashiach. but I want to know what the crown says. I think it says something to the effect of, hang on a second. I've got to clean up my computer and like organize things so I can find things faster, easier, and better. Come on, I saved it under Prayer Shaw. Oh, Talent. Maybe I saved it under that. Yes, I did. I thought that the crown, this is called the crown. I thought it said, "Blessed are you, Lord, our God, King of the universe, who made us holy with his commandments and commanded us to wrap ourselves in a tallit." Forgive me. I was like, leave it on, leave it on. What are you doing taking it off? Leave it on. I commanded you. Cover yourself in a tallit. That's what Condor typed. Oh, wow. Thank you, auspicious Condor. Hey, Deb, it's great to see you. Well, you know what, guys? I just did my formal ceremony for my tallit, because that's what you're supposed to read is the crown first. And then once you read it, then you can wear it. And I've already blessed it in holy oil from Israel, Jerusalem, Israel, and I just love this thing. I love it. It matches my sister Wendy's, it matches Bonnie's, and it matches Doug Hemp's. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Tree, it's great to see you. Okay, about clones. I think they twitch. I think there's subtle differences. You know, they don't look exactly like the original person. Oh, thank you, Lou Girly. Oh, you're making me blush, Lou Girly. Deb, it's great to see you. Conscious Love. Where should I get a prayer shawl? That's a really good question. I don't know. This was actually donated to me. This was a gift to me. So I can try to find out. And then once I find out, what I'll do, Conscious Love, is I will, below the video, in the comment section, I'll pin a comment up and I'll leave a link where you can get a prayer shawl. I keep saying shawl. Shawl. Forgive me. I sometimes have problems pronouncing my words. I love you too, sweetheart. Yes, you're right. Clones have soulless eyes. Clones don't have a soul. You know, Madonna, after she gets done doing a concert, you know what she does is she hires a team that comes in and cleans her dressing room and picks up all of her dead skin cells, and maybe if her hair fell out, they come in and they totally sanitize and clean out her dressing room so none of her DNA is left behind, so they can't make a clone of her. So these Satanists and Luciferians use ancient alien technology, and we know aliens are fallen angels. They use that technology to make clones. And now they're making clones of these freedom deliverance ministers and pastors. And they're taking the clones of these people and these clones go and harm more of the children. So these children are being satanically ritualized and abused. They're being programmed to a fake Jesus. I was programmed to a fake Jesus. And I think that's why it's better if I envision myself here, my whole body, me, Holly, and when an altar comes forward and I'm reintegrating, I think it's better that I see her come back into my body and make one whole piece rather than going off into Jesus's hands, because I was programmed with a fake Jesus. But when I envision my body and see the altar come back, then now I'm one whole piece. And then I can refresh my mind and rededicate myself to Jesus Christ of Nazareth. How long do clones live for? That's a good question. I don't know. I think only short time periods. A couple years, maybe. I don't know, because Peanut, I don't know. But who is that guy? Donald Marshall. I like Donald Marshall. I think he's telling the truth in his testimonies about cloning centers. He would have the answers to those questions better than I do. So Donald Marshall. I wonder if I recall him. I wonder if he recalls me. Okay, Galen says, get a prayer shawl. There's a Jerusalem Prayer Team Israel store online. Summer Sunrise, how are you? What happens to the originals? Well, the original, like I'm the original, right? A lot of times, like I've heard that politicians who start all of a sudden doing the right thing, what's happened is the politician, if he's like a good politician, he'll be removed and a clone will be put in his place, and the clone will drive forward the agenda that the original politician doesn't want to do, because maybe they want to be a good person and do the right thing, and the original person will be put down and locked up in a deep underground military base to never be seen again, or the original person will be terminated and killed, murdered. Yes, right, Joshua. How do they animate clones? What's in there since it's not a human soul? Apparently, Anna Delaney, what was that guy's name? Give me 1 second. Okay. Anna here. There's a guy that might here. I wanted to reach out to this guy privately. Okay, Eric Karlstrom. He is a TI expert, but he talks about these types of things, like how, for me, coming from the dumps, my brain has been hooked up to a supercomputer, and these supercomputers know your emotional reactions. They know your thought processes and your feelings, and all of my thoughts and feelings and dreams can be basically downloaded on a computer and put onto a chip. So the clone body is created, but they take that chip, it's a computer chip, and they put it in the clone, and then the clone has your reactions, and it takes on your characteristics and personality. Anthony Patch is a good guy. I think I saw through Anthony Patch, because I reached out to Anthony Patch, and did he get back to me, or was it Kev Baker that got back to me? Because I reached out to both Kev Baker and Anthony Patch. But I was trying to reach Eric Karlstrom. But those, Anthony Patch, he's good. I like certain shows that Kev Baker does. I'm not into all that new age stuff and into other things, but like when Kev Baker and Anthony Patch did shows together, I got a kick out of them. Powerful, powerful. but they had Eric Carlstrom on the Kev Baker show before, and Kev Baker is a sweetheart. Anthony Patch is really nice. But yes, you're right. They don't have souls. And you can see that darkness in their eyes. Nobody's home. So let me go back up to the beginning of my chat room. I'm going to give all of you shout outs. Oh, see, my chat room got cut off. I hate when that happens. So now I only see half your comments. All right. I think I got all of you. I think I called your names out at the beginning of the show, and I don't think I missed anyone, but if I did, I'm sorry. But Auspicious Condor, I want to say thank you so much for telling me what my crown said. And thank you guys even more than that, because I got to do the ceremony, so to speak, and read my crown and then put it on. And it's official now. I got a prayer shawl, and you all are my witness in Yeshua's name. Okay. Lily Duke, Eddie, Joshua, Anna J, Uncle Obvious. Yes, they are narcissists and witches. Yeah, because the biological mother would allow tarot cards, but she wouldn't allow a Holy Bible. So that's a dead giveaway. Give me 1 second, guys. What's up? You hungry? And I'll take you for a walk. You eat first? Okay. Excuse me. So, Joshua, it's great to see you. Uncle Obvious, Anna J, Addie, Lily, Anna Kilkovia. It's so great to see you, sweetheart. She loves 58 Lynn. How are you? Doc Michael. River. Megan. Nora. It's so great to see you, Nora. I hope you and your horses are doing well. Terry. What did you say you're using for pain? Okay, that was Kratom. I think I told you that. Auspicious Condor, thank you so much for the priestly prayer blessing. Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 26. The Lord bless. That's what I'm going to pray for you guys. Okay, this is what I'm going to pray. As your ordained Ezekiel 33 watchman, fellow SRA survivor, sister, friend, and prayer warrior, this is what I'm going to pray for you guys. I'm not going to hold my hands up like that, because that's what Aaron, Moses' brother, did, is that you hold your hands like this. Not broken, but like that. But I'm not going to make any hand gestures when I read this. But I did read a book on the priestly blessing, and there is that hand gesture, but I'm not going to do any hand gestures. I don't want any programming triggered, but I am aware that that's how Aaron, brother to Moses, held his hands when reading this prayer, but I'm not going to do that. But I am going to read you the prayer, and I'm going to pray this for all of my loved ones, because it's the best prayer that I can pray for all of you. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord shew his face to thee and have mercy on thee. The Lord turn his countenance to thee and give thee peace. I have a picture with this prayer. And this prayer, Numbers chapter 6, verse 24 through 26, each word has a meaning, and then the sentence has a meaning. So the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord shew his face to thee and have mercy on thee. The Lord turn his countenance to thee and give thee peace. Bless has a meaning. Keep has a meaning. Mercy has a meaning. Countenance has a meaning, and peace has a meaning. And then each sentence, verse 24, verse 25, verse 26, each sentence has another meaning. So when you read Hebrew, every letter has a meaning, then every word has a meaning, and then in each sentence, the sentence has a meaning. So one day I pray to learn Hebrew. Getting back to Terry, I used to take Lyrica, and that stuff used to make me dizzy. I couldn't take it. I hope you feel better. MP, Amos, with expectancy. She loves 58 Lynn. Oh, and Lynn Lockhart, if you're out there, if you watch this later, I love you very much. Winging it. I hope you get to go camping. Even more than that, I wish I could go camping. Against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of chest, darkness. Thank you so much, auspicious Condor. Thank you so much for joining me in my chat today and telling me what my crown says. And I'm really honored and humbled that you were here today and sharing your knowledge and Holy Bible verses. Thank you so much. We were told similar things in that when they killed someone, they were actually releasing that person's soul from the torment of this life. They are sick and twisted and will pervert everything, says Lily Duke. Yes. Hey, Scriball, how are you? Hope you have a happy weekend. Susan Saylor, I love you, sweetie. Galen, I love you. Galen says they can use sharp and send to satellite and bounce it back to Earth. That sounds like a trumpet. Yes, Galen. Okay, Mister, thank you for joining. It's your first show. Thank you for being here. Brooke, you're probably not in the chat room anymore, but I love you, Brooke. Let's see, who else do we have here? Luke Early, I love you. Peanut, give my love to your girl. You have a girlfriend now? So, oh, and you played really well. You're a very talented guitarist. And my best to you and your girl. Jesper, I'm happy to see you. And I'm praying Abba puts a special lady in your life, a nice companion for you. Hi, Deb. Okay, if I have this correct and you're the Deb I'm thinking you are, it was really great meeting you online and doing that private video call with you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Just thank you for spending time with me and giving me your testimony. Tree, I love you, Tree. Conspicuous love. Conspicuous. Oh, my Lord. Excuse me. I apologize. Conscious love. Thank you for being here today. And I'm sorry I totally got your tag wrong. Conscious love. Summer sunrise. It's so great to see you, sweetheart. Anna Delaney. I like your channel. I'm so glad that you have a channel. I enjoy it. Praying like Esther. How are you, sweetheart? Creative Revival. How are you? I love you. It's great to see you. In my cream-colored room, yes. It's so great to see all of you. Thank you so much. Okay, good, Deb. All right, I thought that was you. I'm still trying to get everybody's tag and name right, and then there's some people that I'm not allowed to say their name. I have to remember their tag and stick with their tag, and it's like, oh, geez. I'm already a confused individual. And I'm terrible with names. And I don't mean to be rude to anyone. Yeah, you know what, Winging It? I think that you should be obligated to take me camping one time. And I showed you this, right, Winging It? See, I got a bunch of different IDs, right? Are you still here? No, you're not. Huh, that stinks. Winging it. I guess winging it left. Darn it, I was going to show him one of my IDs that he inspired me to make. I have, how many IDs? I have Holly Baglio, my backup channel. My backup channels are Holly Baglio too. And then you all have seen my bags of arrows. Then I have Holly Television. And then I have one called Winging It With It. My papa used to call me Whiff It as a nickname when I was a little girl. And so I created an account, Winging It With It. Usually when I'm using that account, Winging It With It, creating chaos, panic, and disorder somewhere on the internet, busting someone's chops, joking around with someone. So I use my Winging It With It account if I don't want people to know it's me, but I just want to come into a chat room and hang out and, you know, I can't help it. But, yeah, so, and plus if Holly Bagley ever gets shut down, at least I have 4 other channels that are ready, waiting, and able to run videos and live streams. So, all right, guys, I'm going to shut this down. Thank you so much for chilling with me. Thank you for allowing me to share my recovery process with you guys. Thank you for accepting me for who I am. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your friendships. And if there's anything that I can ever do for all of you, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Google Hangouts. And I'm right here. Please let me know. So I want you guys to know that I'm available for you. And, you know, I want to be your friend too. So, okay, guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. Yeshua blessings. I hope all of you have a beautiful and blessed weekend. So, okay, guys, I want one of you to run a live stream so I can come hang out with you guys on your channel. But don't worry, I'll if I use one of my backup accounts, I'll make sure I say, Holly, this is Holly Baglio. Hey, Jody, it's great to see you, sweetheart. I hope you have a great day. Okay, guys, thank you for giving me an hour and a half of your time. I really deeply appreciate it. And I feel pretty good about myself. And I feel pretty good. Well, I'm really grateful that Abba utilizes me and allows me to put my recovery up public. That way I can share things with you guys. So if you haven't had a freedom deliverance yet, or if you're trying to find a freedom deliverance ministry, I can help possibly direct you to people that can do so. And also, if it allows me to show you my recovery so that when you guys go through it, you'll know what to expect, because it can be a pretty big pill to swallow. So, but thank you for joining me and watching me go through my reintegration process to become one whole person again and not all broken up. I love you guys. Thank you, K Mister. And Jesper, it was great to see you. I'll be tuning into your channel too. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you soon.